Buddhism, Form 1, Second Midterm, Chapter 11, page numbers 40 to 43, Bhikku Rahula. Lesson Objectives: Learning about Prince Rahula's birth. Learning about the Lord Buddha's visit to the royal palace at Kimbulwatpura. To get to know about ordination of the Prince Rahula. To get to know about Bhikku Rahula's good qualities. About Prince Rahula's birth. It was after Prince Siddhartha saw the four great pre-indications that the prince decided to go in search of a way to find the truth, to find a way to stop old age, sickness, and death. That day, when the prince saw the four great pre-indication, an ascetic clad in yellow robes, walking calmly, collecting alms, the prince decided to follow such a path to get rid of sorrow, sickness, pain, and death. It was on that very day, that very moment, the prince received a message from the palace that Princess Yashodhara has given birth to a baby boy. At once Prince Siddhartha thought it was an obstruction to his decision to leave the palace in search of the truth of life. This utterness prompted King Suddhodana to name the grandson as Rahula. That night, Prince Siddhartha went to see Princess Yashodhara and his son. The baby was fast asleep, cuddled by the Princess Yashodhara, but he did not change his mind. He left the palace in search of the truth. After that, Prince Siddhartha came to be known as ascetic Gautama. The Buddha's visit to the Kimbulwatpura royal palace. 6 years later, ascetic Gautama attained Buddhahood at Buddhagaya under the Bo tree and was known as Gautama Buddha. Later, the Buddha was invited to palace by the minister Kaludai at the request of King Suddhodana. The Buddha, together with 20,000 bhikkhus, visited the royal palace at Kimbulwatpura on Vesak Poya day. It was very exciting for all that at the palace. On the 7th day of the visit to Kimbulwatpura, after partaking the meals offered by King Suddhodana, the Buddha together with the bhikkhus left the palace. Prince Rahula was watching the Buddha walking calmly with the retinue of bhikkhus. It was then that Princess Yashodhara uttered the Gatha Chakkavarang Kita Narasiha Gatha. And she told her son, "Son, it is your father. He has wealth. Go and ask for your share." She went her son to the Buddha. Prince Rahula went to the Buddha. He said there, "Father, your shadow is a source of happiness for me. My mother sent me to you to request you to give me my inheritance. Yes, I have attained Buddhahood under the Bo tree. I have preached the Dhamma. Come with me. It is your inheritance. I can give it to you." Ordination of the Prince Rahula. Arriving at Nigrodharama, The Buddha asked Prince Rahula whether he would like to become a bhikkhu himself. Prince Rahula agreed. Bhikkhu Sariputta ordained the prince. Hearing this, King Suddhodana could not bear the grief. He went to the Buddha. Venerable Sir, parents can never bear the loss of their children, since the love of parents to their children penetrate through the skin and the bone to the marrow. I cannot bear this. The Buddha pacified the king and decided to make a ruling that no one should be ordained into the Buddha Sasana without the permission of the parents. This was the request of King Suddhodana. This rule lasts to date. It is important even today when dealing with children. Everything should be done with the permission of their parents, because it is they who care most for the well-being of their children. Bhikku Rahula's good qualities. Bhikku Rahula was well disciplined. One day, when the Buddha came to the Aramaya, Bhikku Rahula brought a pot of water to wash the Buddha's feet. Bhikku Rahula poured some water onto the feet of the Buddha to wash the feet of the Buddha. Rahula, did you see that the water in the pot has got reduced after poured some on my feet? Yes, Venerable Sir. The life of people who tell lies is also like a half-filled pot of water. Their lives are not complete. The life of a person who tells lies is similar to a half-filled pot of water. The Buddha then spilled all the water to the ground. Now look at the pot. There is no water in the pot. The life of the liar is also like that. It is an empty life. This shows that those who utter lies, their lives are blank like half-filled pot of water or the pot without water. They are never complete. Their life is empty. One day, the Buddha called Bhikku Rahula and advised, if one day without your knowledge or by mistake you happen to do something wrong, go to an elder and speak about it and promise him that you would not repeat such a wrong deed. This means that you yourself have accepted the wrong and that you will not repeat it. This means that you abide by Ayati Samvara Sila. Bhikku Rahula had a daily routine. He started the day sweeping and cleaning the vihara premises before sunrise. Supply water morning to the Buddha and Sariputta Thera, his teacher, for morning ablutions. It is so happened that another young bhikkhu cleaned the temple premises and kept the equal broom on the ground without keeping it in the proper place. The bhikkhu further complained that Bhikku Rahula has not kept equal broom in the proper place and so has not done his duty properly. Another had thrown dry leaves on the premises after it had been swept by Bhikku Rahula. Bhikku Rahula did not get angry but kept calm on this incident. Okay, now we are going to talk about another good quality of Bhikku Rahula. That is, Bhikku Rahula was full of patience. For this, there is an example. Shall I tell it you? Another day, Bhikku Rahula followed Bhikku Sariputta and went for alms to Bhikku Sariyut's mother's house. Bhikku Sariyut's mother was not a Buddhist. While offering alms, she found fault with both of them for going from house to house for alms. After they returned to the Vihara, the Buddha inquired from Bhikku Rahula, "Where did you go for alms today?" "I went to my teacher's mother's house." "Did she give alms happily?" "No, she found fault with me while offering alms to us." "Did you feel or get angry?" "No, I did not feel angry." Then the Buddha realized that Bhikku Rahula was full of patience and had developed good habits. Now this is important not only for bhikkhus but also for laymen and for children, parents, teachers, all elders and all have to be truthful. To develop patience and truthfulness, good habits is expected from everyone in the society. It is in keeping with the Buddhist way of life. And there is another good quality that Bhikku Rahula always welcomed any advice from the elders. Another day the Buddha saw Bhikku Rahula playing with some sand. The Bhikkhu was throwing up the sand. "Are you playing with the sand?" "No, I threw the sand up and wish that I get advice from the elders equal to the amount of grains in the sand that I have thrown up." The Buddha advised Bhikku Rahula that he should not associate with those who spoke ill of others, spoke unnecessary things, wasted time sleeping and speaking of unnecessary things. The advice should be heeded by everybody today as it is the way how good Buddhists should live. This advice is not only suitable for Buddhists but also for others in the society throughout the world. At the age of 20, Bhikku Rahula attained Arhathood after listening to the Chulla Rahulovada Sutta. Arhat Rahula always developed good habits. He was obedient to elders and always welcomed any advice from the elder bhikkhus. The Buddha named Arhat Rahula as the most obedient bhikkhu in the Sangha Sasana. Thank you.